I'm going to have a quick word today about office garages and the benefits of having office garages. A lot of stuff in GTA Online you don't really need, but it's fun to have. And this is definitely, you don't really need it, but it's fun to have. Okay? Because my office is this Lombard Bank West, the office garages that are attached are right next to it, and there's a little underground entrance here to get into them. So depending where your office is, you might find this more or less convenient. I like this again because it's very, very near to the beach, and mostly I have this location so I can jump off the roof straight down to the beach with a parachute and pick up a helicopter when I want to. This week, office garages are on sale, so there's a discount. So for this character, which is actually my second character, I haven't bought office garages until this point because I just don't really need them, but I'm slowly adding things as they come on sale. This car I have is one I actually won on the spin, the lucky wheel in the casino, so I don't buy that many cars for this character, but I just wanted to show what an office garage gives you. It's clearly designed for display. It's showing off your cars. When you go in, you get a little animation coming up in this circular lift. It's not quite clear how the car gets from the lift or elevator to the show floor, but it is very definitely a show floor, and I put this one in my third garage. I actually have no cars in any of the garages because I just bought them, and I also paid upgrades for the lettering on the wall, the signage there, and the style of this wooden veneer. You can buy a basic one a lot cheaper. I added all these, and the total cost for me for 3 garages with the discount was just short of $5 million. So this is not a cheap addition. You can, and I also updated the lighting, not realizing that all I was going to get was this kind of down-hanging lighting. That was only $100,000 for the lighting, but the main circular lights apparently don't change. So when you put a car in your office garage, it always goes into the first empty slot. And I have 3 garages. Each one will hold 20 cars. You don't have to buy all 3, but if you do, you've eventually got parking for 60 cars, and this is the single biggest parking location in the game. There are a few others where you can put 30 cars. This is the biggest parking space with 60 cars, and clearly for showing off your cars. You can invite people in here and say, look at all the wonderful cars I spent my money on, most of which you will probably never use again. They will sit in here costing you money because when you own property you pay service fees every day, every 48 minutes in the game for owning those properties. Nevertheless, at this point I'm making money so fast I honestly don't care. There's this little seating area here on the lowest of the 3 floors. There is no area above you for sitting because it's just an open space. So you can sit. But if you sit here too long and don't move around, the game will kick you out for inactivity. And oddly enough, they've actually made it so you can sit here and change poses. Some of these seats you can do this. Sometimes they haven't bothered to add it in. They should have it on all the seating options. I always like just to sit back and relax. But if you're in a business meeting, you might want to sit forward and lean on a desk or something. And as you see, you get this big open window. This one's looking east, and then that is to the north. That is to the east with the rising sun coming up there. And that black building there is my apartment building, so I'm right next door to it. That's reasonably convenient for me. You can have more than one apartment in the same building, and I may eventually do that, but one apartment with 10 garage spaces, 10 car spaces, is all you actually need in the game. So the first car I parked went into slot number 1, and on this first floor, or the A floor, you can have 6 cars, and then on the B floor, which is one higher, you can have another 7 cars, and another 7 cars on the third section, the C floor, making a total of 20 cars per garage. And then I have my 1 garage, 2 garage, and 3 garage, or perhaps it's the They've numbered these an odd way. I'd have said this is, okay, this is garage 3. I'd have said they could have had A, B, and C with floors 1, 2, and 3. But it's doesn't really matter. When you go in, it's going to auto park your cars for you. To get to the second and third floors, or the B and C floors, you have to use the stairs. There's no other way of getting there. But if you just select a car from your menu, then obviously it doesn't really matter what floor it's on anyway. You can move the cars around just like in your regular garage. So if I put this upstairs, that's now on the C floor in the final spot. So this is kind of fun for displaying your cars. If you like to collect cars in the game, you could have a floor for sports cars and a floor for supercars and a floor for muscle cars or whatever you want to do. Normally you wouldn't even walk in here, you'd just... Let's go to slot 6, and then if I go one up, it's another next garage up. You would actually just come and look at them. You can get in and drive them out onto the street. You can also add a workshop, so this is like having the garage for upgrading your cars. This is me driving out on the street and outside. Let's put it back in garage 1 this time. Get this little animation, and we're going to go to slot 1A, slot 1. So I can get in the car, and because I added the custom garage, I could now take it in here.
What are we doing today?
And upgrade things in the garage.
Anything I can do?
I think I'm going to just raise my suspension a fraction. There's also a sale on these things, because I'm not sure I actually like look. Well, it doesn't make a lot of difference, does it? Some of these is extremely obvious when you change the suspension. It's only really obvious when you change the entire thing.
Again?
It's a sports car, so let's go for sports suspension.
Hope they're tuned like you want them.
And each time you change this, you're going to pay the fee for doing that. I like a fairly understated spoiler. I don't like these huge wings. I think they look ridiculous. If you're going to race, maybe they make a difference, but I'm not entirely convinced they make a difference even in that. That one's okay.
Making decisions is stressful.
I kind of think not having much spoiler actually just looks smoother on this particular car. And you can change the colour, you can change the roof and so on. You can have a scoop. Different cars have different levels of customization. Some only have one colour, you don't get to choose a second colour. I always go with the dark green, but I'm not entirely sure it's the best. It's a little bit... Oh, bronze is kind of nice. The dark green is so dark it's really black at night.
Whatever you desire.
That's a nice red, let's go with that. And some of these colours, by the way, are locked until you've done races. So I have to compete in races or win races to unlock some of these colours. And I'm not really much of a race person, so I don't bother. Okay, so we've changed the colour. You can also change the number plate. I always go with yellow and black with my specific logo. Skirts. Oh, hang on, we went back to spoiler. Skirts. Doesn't really make a lot of difference, does it? So if you have your custom garage, you can do everything except sell the car. That's the one thing you can't do. So if you want to sell a car from your collection, you do have to go to one of the San Andreas Super Auto workshops to sell a car. This window, interesting, is clearly looking west. So there's a nice view out there, but it's not like you can stand here looking out here all the time. There's the pier and the airport down there in the distance. and then the hills and the road towards Chumash up there. So this garage, floor 1A, has a window clearly looking west. Now, if you go to the elevator, you can go back to your office, you can go to the auto shop, but without a car you can't do anything. You can leave on foot, or you can go up to the roof of the building, where I have a helicopter parked at the moment. Garage 2, where is this window looking? This one's looking north. So again, there's the beach to our west. So the first one on this building at least looks west, the second garage looks north, and the third garage looks east. You would think from outside this would be an extremely visible thing, but it doesn't really show to me that much. Anyway, there's your office garage. You can park up to 60 cars if you buy all 3 garages. You don't really need space for 60 cars, but it's amazing how fast you can fill a garage. If you just steal cars off the street, you could do that and fill them up and just look at those kind of averagey cars, or you can say I'm only going to buy the most expensive cars and put them in here. It's really up to you. It's on sale this week. This is the week of what date have we got? September the 3rd. Well, it started yesterday, September the 12th, and it run for this week until, for me, Wednesday night. If there's a sale on at the moment, if you want to buy these garages, this is a good time to do it. I've bought them here even though I have almost no vehicles to put in it for this character, and it's here for when I need it. I'm now going to be paying fees on it, not a huge amount of fees, but nevertheless I am paying fees on it now that I own it. And once you bought them, you can't get rid of them. So also be aware of that. It's not a get your money back option. Okay, that's the office garage.